Hey guys, it's June 14th, Sunday. Had kind of a interesting weekend. I was able to access a different river about 50 yards across from an Indian mound, and boy, did I think this was going to be a hot spot. And once I got in there, got on the big gravel bar, started looking around. I looked for a little bit over an hour and didn't find a thing. So that tells you something. Just because you might find a mound or something like that, it doesn't necessarily mean that's where everybody lived and spent most of their time. I didn't find a thing. I was really surprised. Anyway, I moved over, switched over to the trout pond site, which is getting to be pretty good now, and that's on another river, and came away with some pretty nice things here. This is I think what a little Warren Club piece, and I think it was an inserted piece. The way it's kind of built with a back end like this, it'd be inserted into a stick. Kind of got a uniface bit on it. It's kind of interesting, and it's been tapered down right in the middle on both sides, and almost, I don't know what, almost like a strap mark right in there. But anyway, I think this piece was probably actually an inserted piece, but I'm not 100% sure. Could have been hafted. Might have been hafted right in here. Highly polished, no wear. Not 100% sure about this. It just stood out in the river. It's just snow white quartz. It's kind of shaped in an axe head type of shape, but it's real thick, and I'm not real sure. Could have been a hammerstone, maybe a ceremonial piece. I don't know. Just don't see quartz like this every day, so it could have been used for ceremonial purposes. It's been worked, but I don't know exactly what it was or what it is. Here's one of these little small preform axe pieces, a little small one. See where they started the polishing process around the edge. Just never finished it up for whatever reason. Awful small. And again, not going to bring these big pieces home, but I did anyway. Here's a piece here. I'm still trying to figure out what it is. It's got this groove here in the top. I don't know if that was used for braiding shafts and poles or what, but really big piece of quartzite, real dense quartzite. Polished on some parts of it. See where they really chipped it down on that edge there. I'm still kind of working on trying to figure out what this is. Good bit of this stone is highly polished. This side's got a lot of wear on it right in here, so I don't know. Maybe it was just a hammer or something like used to crush. I don't know. I'll work on it a little bit more, try to figure out maybe what it is, but thought it was an interesting piece. You know how it is, had to bring it home. And this is a big, I think just a big hand chopper, just, I was going to say an axe at one point in time, but made out of kind of a low-grade quartzite. All worked off the tops, dark up there. It tells me that probably they had their hand up there on that top like that. But I think it was just a real big chopper. It's got a little thumb groove right there. I think they just held it in their hand like that and just did a lot of chopping with it. You see it's really worn on that edge there. I think it's just a big chopper. See that thumb groove right in there. Another big tool I wasn't going to bring home. This gets my FGs, this little bird FG. This one's a little bit different in the way that the wing is really set up on this thing. And there's a pecking mark right there where they define the head from the rest of the body. And this is going to be the rest of the body and the tail part of it here. That's made out of quartzite. See where they chipped out the top. It's all a real common theme with these effigies, these bird effigies. This side doesn't look too bad. They did a little bit of work on this side, but I don't think this side was meant to look at. And this uniface effigies are, very common with these birds. And this piece here, I'm not 100% sure. It's got all these grooves that are pecked into it. I don't know if it's meant to be some kind of effigy. It's a work piece. And there's some of that on the back side here. I think this right in here is natural on both sides, but the rest of the grooves have been pecked in it. One here, one there, one there, one there, one there. I have no idea. Anybody got an idea on this? Let me know. I think this is a little game piece. A lot of times I find these pieces, these triangles, and got that high mica content in it. I think they were just used as game pieces. It's a pretty stone. It's been all worked in this shape. Not as much mica on this side. Phone's doing pretty good today. Here's a nice hammerstone I found. I think this might be a dual-purpose stone too, but you can see where the edges are all worn off on this hammerstone. A little darkness there, that's where they held it. Big dimple in the back. And I'm not so sure that wasn't used to maybe crush some walnuts or acorns. I do know it was used as a hammer too. Here's another little quartzite, what I call a little biscuit hammerstone made out of quartzite. This is a real dense piece, nice material here. You see it's all worn around the edges. Here's the one that's made out of quartz. See how it's really dark in here? That's where it was held, right up in here. Over time, that oil and dirt just gets worked into the stone. The edge has really been worked off this thing. Chipped out, dimpled in the back. On this side, it's been polished. And I think this is a grinder made out of quartzite. Really flat edge on this thing. See where they've worked this down, got it really smooth in here. Probably been held like this. A little bit of a dimple in the back. Smooth as glass. This is a little polishing stone here, made out of quartzite. A little bit of wear back there. I might have used it to hammer on something back there. I don't know. Be held like that. Another one. This is a little bit different consistency. It's a quartzite also, but it's got a little bit more crystalline. Another polishing stone. See that edge? Little dimple there. Probably have been held like this. Here's a real small piece. I think this was used to polish also. Maybe some fine work on some pottery or something. I don't know. This gets into my scrapers. This is actually a solid piece of, it's a deep purple quartz. You see where they worked the whole edge around this thing. It's pretty. Would have probably just held it, you know, like this, and just used it to scrape hides or condition hides, one or the other, or both. That's a pretty piece. Here's one made out of just dark granite. That looks to me like more of a hide conditioner. They're really worn right in here. Here's another one here. This is a really low grade quartzite. It's real coarse. You see that thumb slot right there, and it's really been worked around the edge here. Really worn. It's real nice in the hand. And here's another, I'm not so sure. It's just been worked all around the edges on this thing. Actually made into this form or shape. Anytime I see these stones that have been worked like this and made into these shapes and forms, I'll pick them up. But say it's been worked all around this edge. I'm not sure what this was used for. Anybody got a guess on it? Let me know. This is another one I'm still working on, trying to decide. A little bit of wear right in there. Here's one of these polishing stones. Also, this is quartzite. This has got a really big hump in it. Fits real nice in your hand, but been grooved on both sides of this stone, here and there. Just fits real nice in the hand. You can just go all day with it. Large pecking stone. This is a nice piece. Again, I like to pick up these pieces that have just been really worked, a lot of work put into it. This thing's really been polished off really nicely on all sides of this stone, and chipped out on the top up there. I'm not sure exactly what this material is. I don't know. I don't think it's granite, but it's dense. Like I say, heavily polished. The top taken off up here. And here's a little fat one here. Pecking stone. See how dark it is up there? It's where the finger's laid up there. I worked it out right in here. It would have been held probably like that. Maybe this was used for, or like that. Thumb could have gone in there and finger up here. Real dense material. I'm not sure what this is either. Got little bits of black stone in it. It's actually focusing. Amazing. Oh, sorry. And here's just another pecking stone. This is quartzite. Again, take that top out for whatever reason. It's gotta be done. Really worn on the tip here. And here's some smaller one here. Take the top out. Anyway, that's what I got today, guys. I'm not sure when I'm going to get in the creek, maybe another week or so. We got a lot coming up this week. So, but anyway, I always appreciate you guys tuning in. And again, hope you guys are well. And get you something here maybe in a week or two to look at again. But again, appreciate it.